Hello and welcome back to the CFC Talk podcast, take two actually of the same podcast. We're joined by a guest, Rahul, as well as the usual host. Alex decided to come back as well for tonight's episode. A win against Leicester, 2-1 the scoreline. Many goals still disallowed by VAR for Chelsea, still decisions going against Chelsea a lot tonight. And then, of course, the Aston Villa game to top it off and hopefully seal top four by the 23rd of May, and then concentrate on what is probably Chelsea's biggest game in the last 10 years. And tomorrow, or when you're seeing this episode, 19th of May, Chelsea, 10 years from winning the Champions League. Rahul, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? How's the game?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. A very good game and win. I was very nervous going into it, and I'm sure all the other fans shared that emotion, but good to see us come through and tighten our grip on the top four.
Alex, Amart, how was your experience of the game?
Sorry, I need to remember to respond. But yeah, it was great. I mean, not gonna lie, we dominated the game. They had literally the only clear chances that I remember were when they scored and when they really should have scored by Perez in the 90th minute, and everything. I don't remember anything else in the game. We kept Jamie Vardy completely quiet for the whole game. I do not remember a single thing he did in that game, and it kind of proved something we haven't really talked about even before the pod yet, but Reece James at right centre-back is looking, maybe it's just I accept that maybe it's just a thing to counter Jamie Vardy's pace, but as a long-term thing, I think I really, really want to see him there at right centre-back, and perhaps, I don't know, if it's a way to make room for a right wing-back from the academy, perhaps in Romento or something, or someone else, but he looks fantastic at right centre-back in both the Cup and today. So that was also a nice positive. But yeah, completely kept, like, Leicester, they barely did anything. We completely dominated the game, and really should have scored way more. And it just kind of said it all, that we were all so nervous because it took us so long to actually get that goal. Whereas when we had about a million shot attempts in the first half alone. So yeah. But we did in the end. Dr. Hustle, we should have an asterisk there saying CC Jam. But yes, Dr. Hustle saved, got us it, and because we finished great. So he finished off by Jorginho. So yeah, really happy days, I think, but very nervy at the same time.
Yeah, man. Like the first half was definitely frustrating. Like so many decisions going against us, and you just wondered whether it was one of those games where we'll get so many chances, but eventually we lose the game. But it wasn't. Thankfully, it wasn't. And yeah, the second half was much better. I like the way they approached the game. I like the way they came with such aggression. That's what the fans wanted to see. I think that is what even won the fans over, because they lost a lot of the fans' trust in after the FA Cup loss, because of how they approached it, how they played it, how Tuchel went in with the lineup. But today, I think he put his strongest squad out, and the players also came out very, very determined, very, very aggressively, and that was just a joy to watch. Even before we even scored the goal, everybody was already enjoying the kind of play, the kind of football we're playing, which was very, very nice. Like probably the champagne kind of football that people usually attached to football like that, because we're getting a lot of chances. But then again, our main problem this season, and a bit of like last season as well, we can't finish our chances, and that's what usually cost us dearly. But they didn't, and I'm glad for the win.
Before we get into a lot of the finishes, I'm gonna spark the debate again of it wasn't on our side on Saturday in the FA Cup final. It wasn't on our side today. And VAR, again, Werner penalty, let's be honest, that was a penalty. Daylight robbery, Mike Dean as well. So it's like they're doing everything they can to mess up Chelsea's chances of top four. So we're not just fighting a team, we're not just playing against Leicester, we're playing against VAR, we're playing against the referee. Rahul, your opinions on that? I mean, penalty or not?
100% a penalty. You can see, the most telling sign for me is when the player commits a foul, he immediately puts his hands up like I did nothing wrong. And that's exactly what Tielemans did. And you could see that he had, on his face, that he realized that he had messed up, because Werner gets his foot in front of him. He kicks Werner and Werner goes down. And the concerning part for me is Mike Dean, which is, I think, a few feet, maybe a couple of yards away from the whole incident, is looking right at the whole thing and says no penalty. And then in the era of VAR, it goes to them and you can hear the commentators and everyone saying, oh, it's going to be given, and they don't give it. And so that's the baffling part of this whole thing is, okay, the referee makes a mistake, but you've got like 3 other referees watching this in slow motion and seeing the whole play.
Chelsea.
Yeah, and they just don't want to give it. And that begs the question, is there a conspiracy against Chelsea?
I think the question is answered. I think conspiracy against Chelsea. There is one thing, in my opinion.
I don't know what
seems to be sorry, go on, Rob.
No, sorry. I don't know what you guys saw the tweet about, I think, Tuchel's comments. I think he made a comment about VAR after the game, and it looked like he was very, very angry about it, because he said the decisions constantly go against us, and it's been 3 times in a row, and he was very angry about it. So it just reminded me of what Jose Mourinho used to say, that there's a conspiracy against Chelsea and he didn't want to speak and all that. So Tuchel is giving us a different variation of it.
Yeah, I was about to add on something, but I think the words have left me.
I was silent, just waiting for Alex to kind of say something.
It'll come back to me in a minute, I think. But go on, Mohammed. The stage is yours.
I was just going to continue with VAR and say the second goal, but I'll say, we say so much stuff about VAR not working properly, but second goal, honestly, we all know that was Werner's fault, and it's good. This is why VAR was brought into football, to reduce all clear and obvious errors which might have been missed out on by the referees, as long as it goes against Chelsea, against Chelsea. The 2 goals disallowed. Werner, let's start off with him. In my opinion, I think he had a great game. Honestly, I think he felt confident tonight, finishing as well in front of the fans. That might have been the difference. Those 8,000 or so fans that were there just made it seem like there were 40,000. And honestly, it felt so good hearing voices from all around the stadium supporting Werner. I think he even said it in his post-match interview, where he said in Germany they don't really do any player chants, so it's nice to see fans shout his name out and then kind of give him confidence. And 2 great goals, honestly. If those were allowed, first one, if that was allowed, it would have been a great goal. So in my opinion, Werner gets well played, and it deserves start.
Starting to suspect. Sorry, go on, Rahul.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you. I think Timo Werner turned it up today. We've seen him be a little lackadaisical the last few games. But today he was focused, he was ready to go, and I think that fans had to play a big part in that. So I definitely agree with Mohammed on that point.
Yeah, totally agree with you guys. Like it's just a shame that he's not getting goals, but it's like how useful he is even without his finishing. I think we've seen a different. I missed the Arsenal game, but I think it was the Arsenal game where he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. He was rested for the FA final.
It seemed like that. Looking at the highlights, it did look like there was a stark difference without his pace. We just kind of miss his pace hugely there. And my previous thing I've now remembered was that there was perhaps a conspiracy on if your goals aesthetics is good enough, then they'll allow it. AKA Cavani's chip earlier today, where he was pretty much a yard offside, but Bruno, and they didn't check whether Fernandes or I don't know, they didn't give. They kind of thought that Fernandes touched the ball when Sky were able to prove that he didn't, but they allowed it. But it was a good goal aesthetically wise, so they let that stand. And Tielemans also technically, you know what I'm getting at. But it's just
there's an agenda against Chelsea.
The second one, because people were annoyed at the second one because Werner scored a goal off his arm, yet in the build-up for Tielemans' goal in the cup, it came off his arm as well. But I think it's because it was the final touch of from Werner to score with his arm, even though it's come off of another part of his body first. That's okay if it's in the build-up. If it hits your head and something and then hits your arm, that's all right. But then if you score with the last touch being your arm or something, no matter what, I think that, I don't know, that's how it makes sense to me. But I don't know if that's actually how it is, but yeah,
it's a very weird
shame.
one. I could sit here and we could honestly sit here and talk about what is intentional and what's unintentional handball, but at the end of the day, it depends on referee on referee.
I think intentional wise has gone up is all up the window now. But yeah, you're right. Yeah,
no, I mean, if someone would have showed me both of those goals, I might have given the first one, but the second one I might have not given it because it was handball and it was pretty clear. So I agree with that decision there. But yeah,
a bit of a worry that Kante came. Oh, sorry about you.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring
it was a thing in the first half as well. That's the only other thing I could really think of is that Kante coming off 30 minutes into the game was a little bit. Sorry, not a little bit. Very worrying.
I think I was on the stream with Danny at that time, and we just didn't know because Kovacic was warming up, and he suddenly while warming up, he just came back and he quickly just changed up and he got ready, and I was like, oh, what was happening? I kind of thought it was Jorginho, which didn't really. It was like, okay, at least it's not Kante, and then I just saw Kante walking off, and apparently
you jinxed it, Mohammed. You jinxed it.
He apparently signaled 3 times. He was really struggling for some reason, and it was according to Tuchel, as of now, it was just a precautionary change. So I'm hoping that he should be fit enough for Aston Villa, and then hopefully the game after that. But yeah, Rahul, how important is N'Golo Kante? He's just at his age, and I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans were in mid-season were like, you know what, we need to sell Kante, we need to get Declan Rice, he's the future of Chelsea. Yes, we might still need Declan Rice, but Kante is so important for us.
He's the heart and soul of this team, regardless who the manager is, what system we play. He does everything from defending to attacking. At one point, I believe in this game, at the first half, he turned into prime Frank Lampard and made a run into the box and ripped a shot on goal. So he does it all, and it was concerning, like you guys are saying, because we didn't really know that he had picked up an injury. But it's also smart and credit to Conte and Tuchel to say, you know what, let's not push it. This game is important, but we need him because we have a couple more important games coming. And Kovacic is an able replacement. He's been out for a while, but it was good to see him back. And I think he made that difference a little bit because of his ability to drive and connect the attack with the midfield. So I think a good move overall, but yeah, it's good to see that it's a precautionary thing than more of a long-term injury.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when Kante was substituted, I was kind of I was worried at the same time I was happy because I was happy that he wasn't allowed to continue so that the injury becomes worse. But Kovacic coming on was the best replacement, and I think he was a bit rusty today, but he had some good moments too as well. I think he made the mistake that led to the goal, but it's still he's coming from injury, so it's something we still won. If we had lost as a result of that, fine. I know a lot of people will be on him, and even us here ourselves will also be on him. But we won, and it's something that we can't forget about. And yeah, I really hope he's fit for the final. I really hope him and Kante, they are fully fit for the final, so that we will have options in the middle there when we are going to play.
Did you guys rest Kante for Villa to guarantee that he's good to go for City?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would rest him for Villa because he didn't seem he seemed a little bit uneasy today, and I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it will just remind me of that game we went to play in America last 2 seasons, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek got hurt, and that has just derailed his career till now. He couldn't play the European League finals. He can't. He went out for a very long time. He hasn't been able to recover to his best. So let's not do that. Let's not do that again. Let's not risk our players if we know we have We have Kovacic there, we have Jorginho there who can play very well. Even if we don't use Kovacic, there's Gilmore also there who can also slot in very, very well. So let's not risk it. Let's not risk it. I know we want to win, but let's not risk Kante with this game.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hopefully Burnley turn up, play really well, Liverpool lose, and then Aston Villa doesn't matter. We can play Gilmore, we can play, and then save player.
Please, Sean Dyche.
Alex, go forward with your plea.
Just please. Just don't let the keeper score again. Just get a draw. Just do that, please.
I mean, if they get a draw, if they get a draw, we still need to draw our game against Aston Villa or win it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, at the same time, it also relies on Leicester getting at least a draw against Spurs. So if Spurs could do a huge favour for us by beating Leicester. Spurs beating Leicester guarantees us top 4, I think. Because I think so. So that would also be huge. But we're not supporting Spurs. We're just kind of, please, that'd be nice if you did that. But yeah, back to our game at least. Oh man, I mean, second half at least, it seemed like Bell the Bridge 2.0 at the end, but that second half had a bit of everything. We saw Rudiger turning into prime Ronaldinho with an amazing roulette. That was like absolutely amazing.
There's always this Rudiger moment every game. In the FA Cup final, I was watching it with the guys, and we were like, there's always Rudiger who just makes one of those runs every game. He has to do it. It's like a thing on his contract. Make one run towards goal. It's just a Rudiger thing. Or do something that's unexpected of the fans. Even if you're like a 0 down or 2-0 down, he'll still do it just to keep it alive. And I feel like at this point, he's just superstitious. He's like, I'm going to do it. We're going to win the game. That's it. Done.
Yeah. Zuma started the trend, man, last season against Ajax. And now it's just everyone's, they're all imitators, Yeah,
it's funny you say that. I think all the center backs are competing to see who can actually get the goal. What Zuma started, finish it off. But Rudiger, like Mohammad was saying, he's been doing that for every game in this new system. He has the freedom to drive forward, and he takes it and rips shots. I think back to the Madrid game. I think one of his shots was bundled over, almost fell to Timo Werner. So it's a good tactic when it works, but sometimes, like in the FA Cup final, he was ripping shots, and you're like, "What do you like? Just play it simple."
It looks so good when it comes off, but it's like you say, incredibly risky thing to do.
I think I was about to mention the FA Cup because it's sometimes when he does it, it's brilliant. But the thing is, when he does it, he either takes a shot or gives a wrong pass. That's the thing. I just wish he can get better at it, because when he moves forward, in the end, we end up moving it backwards again. And the FA Cup was very, very frustrating. But today he just turned into, I think he did the Cruyff turn in the second half, and I was like, wow. He's been watching Cruyff highlights, and he did very, very well in the second half. And the goal that he scored, albeit a bit, I don't know whether to say a bit lucky or not, but he scored with the part of the body that is allowed to be scored with. So he did it. He scored it with his thigh, and at first I was even worried because I didn't celebrate that goal because of what happened to Timo Werner. I was worried if it might have hit his arm or something before it went in. So I waited till everything was settled before I was able to celebrate and tweet about it. So yeah, that was a very good goal, and it broke the tension. It broke the defense of Leicester City and allowed us to get into the game. Of course, they opened the game now and allowed us to get. I think they would have been satisfied with a draw today, but we didn't want a draw. We wanted to win. So they were there to get a draw, and one lucky goal. We were there to win. So the aggression was there, and I like his performance today.
On your note of celebration, I was sat here watching the game on the screen, and as soon as that went in, I just sat here. I didn't celebrate. I didn't flinch. I was just sat here. I was like, I'm going to give it a minute, give it 2 minutes. Just do every check you want. You want to check it 5 times? Go for it. Then I'll celebrate. And
that's why I hate VAR. That's why I hate VAR. That's why VAR ruined the game, because it takes away so many celebrations. Like I remember when we played against Ajax last season. Look at how Aspi celebrated that goal when we thought we had beaten Ajax. we celebrated, and the whole stadium was just crazy, and then VAR just took it away from us. And it has happened so many times today. Even when Werner scored the first goal and just lifted his arms like this, all those things were just squashed. They celebrate anymore when their team score, unless it's a clear cut goal. But usually when it's a close call, they just sit back and wait for the VAR before they even celebrate. So it makes the whole football watching experience dull, in my opinion.
It's killing the emotion.
Yeah, we've had so many disallowed goals over the past couple of games. Like, it's just heart-wrenching. City, I didn't watch the Arsenal one, but I remember City, we had, I think Hudson-Odoi scored one and Werner scored one. I think that's right. Or was it just Hudson-Odoi?
I think it was Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, just Hudson-Odoi. And in the final, sorry, my memory's gone. It's late here. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure we had, I can't remember these specificities anymore. But yeah, just too many disallowed goals it's particularly from Werner. I think he's probably had more disallowed goals than allowed goals this season. I don't know.
I think with Werner, he needs to work on his positioning. He really needs to work on his positioning, because I don't think it's VAR to be like we could put all the blame on VAR. We could put the blame on him as well, because in the halftime, I remember the halftime analysis, Ian Wright and Alan Shearer were saying that like he should watch his defender. He should watch the defender, the last defender. So use him to mark yourself. Use him to position yourself. But you saw that he was the last person, and you were still moving away from him. So whatever pass that comes in will be flagged as offside. So he needs to work on his positioning. He needs to really do well, because now he's becoming like Morata. Morata also used to go offside a lot, so he has to really position himself, especially in the age of VAR now. He has to work on it. He has to work on it so that he won't get so many disallowed goals.
And you say that right, Amart. I think the thing with Werner too, what's frustrating is he's got the pace, so he doesn't need to go and play off the shoulder. He could almost play a little bit inside, and before the ball comes in, he can make that run. And I think that's what's frustrating is you've got the pace, just be a little more positionally aware, like you're saying, and beat the offside trap.
Yeah, I agree. I think even the commentator mentioned it during today's game. There was this moment where he was caught offside again, and he said, Werner's so fast, he should know that he could be a yard in front of the defender and still catch up, and he should time his run in the sense where he should not be offside as many times as he is right now. So yeah, I think just a bit of work on his positioning, and it's good to see how Werner. And I mean, we're trying to find a few negatives from Werner, but tonight obviously was one of his good performances compared to the last few weeks. And I guess hopefully the fans are cheering him up, and we'll see more of Werner's good performances. But yeah, anything else after that? I think Jorginho's penalty. He's now surprisingly our highest goal scorer this season, which is just incredible.
What do you mean our midfielders need to get more goals and assists? What do you mean? They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
I would have been happy if those are actually goals scored, but come on, they're 9 penalties or 7 penalties. That just goes to show how much we've kind of struggled having the strike man or the guy to rely on, in a sense where we're everyone. I guess you could say it's nice to have everyone who, like majority of our midfielders and strikers, score 5 goals each. But then at the same time, you want someone who can score 20 to 25 goals a season, who can change those games for you, like Hazard used to do, Drogba, all these players. I know I'm going way back in time, but we really never had a striker after Drogba who's kind of carried Chelsea or helped Chelsea go far in games and score goals every other game.
I think Diego Costa was that kind of striker, and
I think he was missing someone.
Yeah, you see, I think the thing that you're saying, is definitely correct. We need that person that we can rely on and get at least 15 goals, 20 goals from that person a season. And I think that happened when Conte was here. So Conte's first season, Diego Costa was leading the charts, he was leading the goals, but the goals was kind of still spread out. There are other players that also scored a goal or also scored goals in the team. Because Matic was scoring, I think Alonso was scoring, Hazard, well, Willian. Oh, like we had players that were scoring goals on the regular, but still, we had that person that always came out and scored a goal for us. I remember the 1-0. We had a string of 1-0 wins under Antonio Conte. I think about 3 consecutive 1-0 wins. All of them came from Costa, and that's what we want. We want somebody we can rely on when we want somebody to score a goal, finish a chance. Costa was always there to finish a chance, and I think if Costa was in this squad, probably this guy would have been scoring braces and hat tricks up and down because this we create a lot in this team, but we still can't finish it. And I think that's the issue.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I was actually going to bring up that I think I saw somewhere since Tuchel's come in, Chelsea have created the most chances, but we haven't scored the most goals. So that's the concerning part.
I think even today, sorry for the interruption, but I think in the first half, Alex mentioned this as well. I think we've got 11 chances we had, and only 3 of them were on target, or 3 of them were threatening chances or concerning chances. So that kind of explains how we've been doing. But yeah, sorry.
Like even I don't think even shots on target are a particularly great metric for us being clinical. So there was one in the second half where Timo was pretty much through on goal. He wasn't going down the middle; he was going down the left, and he gets the better of the left centre back or the right centre back, Leicester. But he doesn't have a great left-footed shot. He tries to do something, and he just kind of bobbles up. Schmeichel catches it, counts as a shot on target, but it actually means you're even less clinical because you're almost through on goal. But I guess it was a tight angle and you couldn't really do much with it. But yeah, I don't think shots on target are particularly great way of. Yeah. It's more. I think the best way to do it is just by eye test. To be honest, there maybe is some extra stat about the quality of the shots you're taking, but it just seems like we don't have anyone who is particularly clinical at the moment, and it just seems like we have to spend about 10 times as much effort to try and score a goal as the other team right now across all of our games. So yeah, but yeah, like the debate then goes on to who do you bring in, which kind of feeds into all the rumors that you see going around of the big 3 names at least. But yeah,
I have a question for you guys, right? So we're talking about Jorginho just became our top goal scorer. I think he took over Tammy Abraham, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And the question is, we're sitting here and saying we need a goal scorer. We need someone who can score. Do we have that person in Tammy Abraham? We're just not giving him the opportunities to get out there and score a goal or 2 and get back into form.
So we are.
Yes, I think we do. I think Tammy is that goal scorer for us, but I think. With the way sometimes he doesn't really perform in games, but he's a good goal scorer. But the thing is that he offers just that. That's the thing I think Tuchel doesn't really want. Tuchel wants somebody who is more versatile, like Werner, somebody who can run in behind defenders, who can create assists as well as score goals and stuff like that, and cross and all those things. But I think what Tammy offers is that he has great hold-up play. And he scores goals. That's it. And I don't think that's the system Tuchel wants to play. That's why he has put him out. But he's our goal scorer. Like for me, I hate it. I hate the fact that he doesn't play. I hate the fact that he's always on the bench. Sometimes he's not even on the bench, and he might leave the team soon. But I think it's all up to the manager. The manager knows what he wants, and he picks who he wants. And it might not go down well with the fans, but. Because Tammy scores like Tammy is our goal scorer. He was our top goal scorer last season, and he just became he was just overthrown by Jorginho. And I think somebody asked me after the FA Cup final that why does Jorginho have so many goals for Chelsea? And I was like, takes out penalties for us. So the follow up question was, apart from penalties, does he score anything else? And I was like, not really, because apart from the penalties, he has only scored 2 open play goals for Chelsea. Because I remember. One against like his first goal, which was a banger, a very good shot, and then the second one was against Arsenal. Yeah, Fulham. Yeah. The second one was against Arsenal. So those were the only 2 open play goals, but the rest have been penalties. So if it wasn't for penalties, we wouldn't be scoring. So it shouldn't look like we have a goal scorer on paper, but nah, the goal scorer is Tammy, and unfortunately he's not been playing. So we have to bring somebody in. If we are not going to use it, we have to bring somebody in.
I agree. I think sorry, Alex, I'm going to cut you in here, but I agree. It's very frustrating to see. It's very frustrating to see someone like Tammy on the bench, and if you look at it from Tammy's perspective, it's his right to kind of be angry at Tuchel and want to go out of Chelsea. It's his boyhood club. At one point, you kind of have to think to yourself that you're 24 years old or 23 years old, and you don't want to be third choice, or you don't want to be fighting for first choice. You want to be a regular starter. You want to be a manager's first choice every time. It might happen. Like, I think we're hearing West Ham is his favorable place to go. I think he's most likely to go to West Ham, and if it does happen, and if he has one or two good seasons, then I do see him coming back at a top club. Yeah, I think most favorable club for him right now is West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, what if? I mean, we've just seen the news that, I mean, not just now, but today it's come out that Roy Hodgson is leaving Crystal Palace, and Frank Lampard's been really associated, really linked with that job. So if he goes there, perhaps he takes Tammy Abraham with him.
I think he will. I think he will.
Because to be honest, I don't think there's lots of quotes going around about how West Ham can't even afford the 40 million or whatever that Chelsea would charge for Tammy. But I think that Crystal Palace would maybe do that to kind of bring in the players that Lampard wants. So maybe, but yeah.
You think we sell him, Alex, or I guess?
Yeah.
Should we loan him?
I would be happy for him to go on loan, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I just think the ship for them at the moment has kind of sailed with him. It's clear that he is either something like Diego Costa level has happened behind the scenes and it's just out of the picture, or it's like he just doesn't off, like when Werner doesn't score, he still has his pace and he's still getting the opportunities. So he still contributes to the team in some useful way. But when Tammy doesn't necessarily do that, yes, I mean, to be fair, his link-up play is pretty good, I think, for Tammy's, but it's like, I can't remember a lot of games where you can say, oh, Tammy didn't score, but he was amazing. He really helped the team. I can't really remember, or it could be down to my bad memory, to be honest. But yeah, it's just not quite there. And I do feel for him, because I think we have, as Chelsea fans, we really have to respect the contribution that he's made to Chelsea Football Club over the past 18 months. Without his goals, we probably wouldn't have got top four last year. I know Giroud and Pulisic definitely came into the frame in Project Restart, but Tammy's goals were also really important. So it really does suck to see it like that. But I think the ship has sailed, to be honest. And barring Giroud, like from now, I mean, there's only 2 games left. I think it's too late, to be honest, for any kind of recovery of his starting place for this season. And I don't see it changing next season, to be honest, because we're probably going to bring in a new striker. So
yeah,
I don't think any Chelsea fan should be. You'd have to be crazy to be happy to see him go, because he doesn't deserve to be treated the way that he's been treated. But I think it's just a sadness of the situation that Chelsea find themselves in, with a change in manager who just clearly doesn't favour him. But
yeah,
I think he'll be a great striker somewhere else, and he's still relatively young. He's only 23 or 24. Or that's his specific age, 23 or 24. We don't know exactly. In between, give or take.
I don't think we've ever switched from those 2 ages. I feel like 10 years down the line, we'll still be saying 23, 24.
Yeah, he's still
we'll move to 33, 34.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the best we can do, I think, in this situation is to get a good amount of money for him, I think, or even a loan. I would be happy with a loan, to be honest, just to get him playing regular football somewhere in the Premier League. To be honest, yeah, if it is a loan, that would be better. If it's a sell, I would rather him not play in the Premier League, because then he could hurt Chelsea. But
in before he joins Crystal Palace.
Yeah, before he joins Tottenham as a Harry Kane swap deal.
I'll take it. No offense to Tammy Abraham, but I'm taking that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, wherever he goes, we're definitely going to support him. He's a Chelsea boy. Definitely going to support him. And I want him to go with the Champions League medal. He should at least go with the Champions League medal. I think he'll feel good about himself in that way. But still, it's still a disappointment to lose him. But I would be happy if these academy boys win the Champions League. I'll be so happy.
Going back to the players kind of winning the Champions League, the academy players. It's so incredible. I can't remember a 2012 squad which had these many academy players, but it's incredible to see Mason Mount. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do win. Hopefully we show up that day. Because that day, I every think about it, it gives me goosebumps. It makes me nervous. I just don't want to sit there on the 29th and come on the podcast and be like, we've done what we kind of hope we couldn't do. We both lose both finals and mess up top four. But yeah, hopefully these two losses teach us something, and we're up onwards and upwards from now on. Hopefully, just
trust in Tuchel, man. We got it. Honestly,
I do.
Yeah, it was a really awful week. It was an awful week for Chelsea. But I think
as a whole, it's just the women's team, the men's team.
You see, I think the way we approach today's game, if we approach the Champions League final in the same way, we have a chance of winning that trophy. But if we approach it the way we approach Leicester City, nah. But we should go out there with aggression. We should assume City has taken a trophy away from us and we want revenge. We should assume Aguero was the one who threw the pennant away. We should just assume that thing and just go in and just be aggressive from start to finish.
They'll just do a deep face swap and just put Aguero's face throwing the thing back. And
exactly. We need the same aggression. We need the same aggression, right?
I will add on. I feel like this Chelsea team that we have right now isn't capable of doing comebacks. And I know, yes, Man City. I think Man City one was one which was incredible to see. But I feel like once Chelsea go a goal down, we put our heads down. We kind of switch off. We make more errors. We kind of struggle to come back until it's 4 minutes of the game, and we decide, okay, you know what, we need to do something. We can't just let it go. It might be okay. I'll switch my words. I feel like I'm looking at Alex, and then I'm changing what I'm saying.
No, I do like.
It's capable. Okay, it's capable of doing a comeback. At the same time, it's not likely. It's not likely. We're a team who needs to step out, and I'm not just talking about the Man City game in a week, but I'm just talking about Villa as a whole. We need to step out every game, and the first 20 to 30 minutes is very key for Chelsea. This is where, if we start off with high intensity, pressure the opponent, then we just don't let them settle in. It's just a Chelsea thing. If we go in there and we have a mindset of, oh, you know what, we're just going to play around, see what we can do, kind of thing, then they will grow into the game. And whether it be Aston Villa, whether it be Man City, or any other team, as a matter of fact. Chelsea, again, we're not the team who can sit around, concede a goal, and then be like, you know what, second half we need to switch up the performances. 3 goals, we've won the game. We're not a team. I think prime example would be Crystal Palace. Was it 3-0 down? We kind of did. Okay, we went on to level the line. Was it Crystal Palace 3-3, or was it West Brom? I can't remember.
West Brom.
West Brom.
Yeah.
No,
So
we don't mention them anymore.
And the Lampard.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amart.
But yeah, sorry. I'll let you guys.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you. I really agree with you, because sometimes we don't look like the kind of team that can make a comeback. Because I think the main reason why we made a comeback against City is that City isn't that kind of team that will score you and sit back and defend. They're not that kind of team. They would want to score more goals, and when in the pursuit of scoring more goals, they open up. And when they open up, but with teams like the way we played against Leicester, we played against Arsenal and stuff like that, when they score, they sit back because they know what they're capable of doing, and they'll sit back and make sure that we don't score. They are okay with leading with 1-0 and going home with it. And with teams like that, we can't. It looks very, very difficult for us to make a comeback, because we try, but they just keep on frustrating us. But with City, I don't think that they are that kind of team, and I don't think they will do that in the finals as well. I don't think they are going to score and sit back. They could, because Pep can go with that formation, with that tactic, because he's seen it work in the past and it has worked effectively against Chelsea. So they could do that, but I don't see them doing that. I don't see them being that kind of team that would score and just sit back and relax on the one goal, like sometimes how we do, because we also do that sometimes. And we score a goal or two, and then we sit back and defend. And that's what other teams also do against us. So I think the key thing is that we need to score first. In any game that we play, we need to score first. to be able to dominate it. And when we score first, we most likely win the game and we dominate the game.
Especially in the Champions League, Amart. I was just looking at the results. We've gone from Atletico, we won the first leg. We came home, won the second leg. We won Porto away. We lost a Porto home game, but that was pretty much done.
That was a free goal, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much done at the end.
Yeah.
And then we go to Madrid and we get the draw. We come back and get the win. So we haven't really been behind in the Champions League that you guys, like Mohammad, started off the point. So it will be interesting to see if that does happen, how we react to it. And the only win we've had in Tuchel's era as a comeback is that Man City one. So again, it's definitely critical for this Chelsea team to get that first goal because it forces the other team to open up. And that's where we end up getting more joy and find more freedom in the attacking third. Because I know you said City are not that team that sit back, but defensively, they've been very, very good this season.
Yeah.
And so if they score that first goal, I think that will just boost their confidence. And I know we're getting way ahead because we have the Villa game. But I think for the City game, that first goal has to go Chelsea's way. Otherwise, it's going to be a bigger mountain to climb.
Yeah, I'd echo the point that Amart made in that we just to have a start in a similar way to we started today, plus being a little bit more clinical. But it was like in the first half, it was extremely one-sided. And I think it was the whole 11 chances or the 11 shot attempts was in the first 30 minutes or something. It was ridiculous. So yeah, just something like that is something that we really need for the Champions League final. And worst comes to worst, Alonso at striker and things will all be all right. But yeah, adding on
Don't forget Emerson. Yeah, we're still waiting for the Emerson.
Yes. No, Emerson at left wing, Alonso at striker. But yeah, I think one more thing before we get into the Villa game, and I guess this has kind of been like the prequel to the preview of the Champions League final, pretty much in this episode. But also, I think the other injury from other than Kante was Havertz, but I think that got confirmed after the game by Tuchel that he might look good for Aston Villa, or no, might not look good. No, be available for Aston Villa. So
he already looks good. He already
looks good. Sorry, I could only dream for his amazing hair that he has now. But yeah, so hopefully he's back and hopefully really back for the Champions League final as well. But should we get into talk a little bit about Aston Villa? We've got to cater to some of the Aston Villa fans that maybe watch our podcast. So yeah, we've got to give some praise. But yeah.
Before we do that, do we just have to talk about our friend Daniel Amarte at the end of this game?
Oh,
yeah.
The video of that was absolutely hilarious. I don't know if listeners have seen it, but yeah, it's basically that battle of the bridge at the 2.0 pretty much at the end, and then Thiago Silva and Mount both clock that Daniel Amarte he's in the midst of it, and they just go after him about that video about the.
Yeah. We'll say that video is doing us wonders on our YouTube page. 5,000 views inside of 35 minutes.
That's nice. I mean, the scuffle was epic. It reminded me of the one that happened against City some years ago when we beat them 3-1, and it got frustrated. And I mean, like, the scuffle was epic, and the way it ended too was fantastic. I like how Rudiger approached it. Like, we want to see this kind of thing from players. We want to see. I know a lot of people on Twitter try to discredit passion and desire as part of the footballers' qualities. But man, it's very, very important in games like this. If you don't have passion, you can't do things that they did in the end. The way Mendy came in and just cleared the storm, he parted the sea like he was Moses. That was crazy. He just came in and just parted everybody. And it was fun. And when Amarte got the card, I honestly didn't know why he got the card, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was just happy he got the card. And I think he was saying something to Mike Dean or something, because when you look at the scuffle, he wasn't really involved in the scuffle, but I think he came later and said something to Mike Dean, and I think Kama was like, "We already wanted you, and you've come into our trap, so we'll give you the yellow card."
I feel like at one point when the fight was happening between Rudiger and I think it was Ricardo, At one point when Amarte walked in, everyone was like, you know what, forget everyone, just get Amarte. Everyone just switched up to Amarte. And like, you know what?
Let's get him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike Dean was trying to appease the Chelsea fans, and so he was like, "You know what? I'm going to give you this yellow card."
Yeah, I made my mistakes earlier, but let's put that aside. Here's some drama.
Yeah, and the funniest thing from the whole
start apologizing for all of the wrong decisions I've done in life, all of the wrong decisions I've given against Chelsea.
Yeah, that yellow card maybe makes it up a little bit. But the funniest thing was Amarte didn't even get onto the pitch. He's even in a brawl stayed as a substitute.
Yeah. Imagine if you had him in your fantasy team. 0 minutes played, -1 for the yellow card. I bet someone has it. Hell, I think someone, what was it? No, I can't remember. Was it like triple captain Scott Carson or something when he went in goal against in Man City's last game?
Oh yeah, against Newcastle.
4-3 against Newcastle. Someone triple captain Scott Carson out of nowhere. Maybe it was Scott Carson himself. So there's someone people have definitely got Amarte in their team. So yeah, they felt that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they were expecting a 0. They got a -1.
Yeah. That's what you get for putting Daniel Amarte in the team. So yeah, I think that's kind of all we have for the
Leicester game.
Leicester game.
Battle of the Bridge part 2,
Battle of the Bridge 2.0 at the end. Yeah. Oh, jinx. Right back at you, Mohammed. Go on, Mohammed. You're the host. You can.
Yeah, I was just going to take over and say Aston Villa next, 3 points to secure top 4 unless Liverpool lose. So by the time you guys are watching this podcast, let's pretend Liverpool are going to win their 2 games. Chelsea in a tough position against Aston Villa. I'm gonna start off the conversation by saying rotation required. Honestly, we're professionals. We need to put up our strongest lineup. None of this bring on Giroud or start Giroud or rest Mason Mount or KANE. Maybe KANE.
Mohammed, you got really choppy. I don't think any of us can hear you.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, enough of Leicester. Let's move on to Aston Villa. 3 points that should hopefully secure top 4 for us. I'm not sure where it got choppy, so I was just repeating myself.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. It looked choppy there as well, but it's fine. It's fine. They'll understand. You've tried it twice. I think the message will get across. But
third time's the charm.
Yeah, third time's the charm.
Okay.
But you never know. Top 4 might
go for it, Alex. I think go for it. Go for it. I think mine's a bit like I'll just stop for a second and then you guys.
Okay, all right. Step aside. No, but yeah, but yeah. Obviously, a huge one. We need to probably get realistically. We probably need to get at least a draw in this. I think. Well, that is. If Liverpool do win their game against Burnley, then probably a win will have to be. Actually, yeah. I think if a win guarantees it, I think, looking at the table. But yeah, we kind of have to hope that Spurs maybe do us a favour as well on the side and beat Leicester. That would remove all the pressure from our game, but you never know.
I think that. Sorry, I thought you ended.
Yeah, I did.
I think the whole top 4 race has just become like last season where it went down to the final game against Wolves. And but I think the only difference and the similarity at the same time is that we finished 3rd this time instead of 4th, but we still somehow finished under Man United, which is so damn frustrating. Because they shouldn't have even won today in the first place, but they did. And so like that game is definitely going to be important. And I don't think Aston Villa has that much to fight for. They are not in any relegation battle. I don't think they're even close to qualifying for the Europa League. So they don't really have anything to play for. But as teams like that, they usually play their best when there's nothing on the line. So it's definitely going to be a tough game. And I agree with Mohammed. We shouldn't really go and say that we are rotating and bringing players who don't really play and take this game for granted. I don't think Tuchel will, because from his comments in the press conference leading up to this game, he said their priorities are. He shouldn't have said that. In my opinion, he shouldn't have said that. But he said their priorities are the top 4. It is not the FA Cup final. And So definitely he's going to play from that. He's going to play his best squad against Aston Villa. And I think between Aston Villa and the Champions League final, there's a big gap where the players can rest. So I think, but I don't think Kante will play. I'm hoping he doesn't play. But I think players like Werner, probably Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech, we might see one of them as well in the regular starters.
Yeah, I think it's time to activate Agent John Terry because we'll need some kind of result in this game. But jokes aside, I agree with you guys. No major rotation. I think we got to play our best 11 or the fittest 11. So Mendy has to play. We've tried the Kepa experiment.
Have our second cup keeper play.
Oh no! We need Mendy. We need to get this game out of the way and at least get a draw, like you guys are saying. So, without at the expense of not running through the whole lineup, for me at least, Mendy, Mount, and Aspie have to play this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing with Mendy too is that I think Mendy also brings some kind of confidence to the squad, protect the defense, and then the fans also watching it. And I think today, apart from just one shot, it was just a feeble shot against him. I think when he's playing, players don't really take shots, and I think there's a difference between him and Kepa. And they know that Kepa is his weakness is facing long range shots. So when Kepa is playing, they try long range shots. Like whoever it is, they just when they get the space, they try it because they know there's a chance it might go in. But with Mendy, they don't even try it because they've seen the guy's height. They've seen him. They've been next to him, and they've seen how big he is, of a giant he is, and they know that he's not really one to concede from long range effort. So they don't even try. They rather play safe than to risk it. So definitely yes, Mendy also should play. Mount too, absolutely. He won the player of the year for Chelsea, which is well deserved in my opinion. And yeah, he should.
We forgot about that.
Yeah, he should have got. I know there's a split school of thought that would say that he should have won last season too. I think I'm part of that school of thought that would say he should have won last season too. Somebody might disagree, but I'm happy he won this season now, and I'm happy his dad was so proud of him after backing him and saying that and laughing at the German journalist who implied that Mason Mount is unhappy and might leave and stuff like that. And in the end, he has played under two managers, impressed two managers. He has played under Southgate, impressed Southgate, and he came out as the player of the year for Chelsea. And yeah, that's definitely a plus for him. And he has to play. He's I think if not our most important, one of the most important players in the squad. So any big game, any must-win game, he has to be there.
Agreed. Yeah, I think those three have definitely got to start. And I mean, on the point of I like dissecting Mohammed's points, but I like to support. Actually, it doesn't matter if this was. I think it was both. No, this is support because this might have been Amart's point. Actually, I was about the long range shots, and yeah, it was Amart's point. And just to back it up, you saw today, Perez, 90th minute, he had the chance to shoot from the edge of the box. He does shoot from the edge of the box, but because the sheer presence of this 6'6" demon in front of him, he just puts it into the stands. It's a Mendy thing. It just scares them. Yeah. But yeah.
Love it.
I don't know, in Ghana here, some Chelsea fans say that his towel gives him the power. So if he doesn't have that towel next to him, he doesn't play well.
Yeah.
His black towel gives him the powers.
What if it's the towel full stop just gives whoever's that Kepa doesn't walk out with a towel? That's why he's not up there. Yeah. If he started going into matches with a towel on his shoulder, he would do better. But no.
He would do better. He would gain at least 1 feet.
Yeah, looking forward to that Villa game though. It's going to be, I think we're all going to be trying to follow 3 different games probably all at the same time. I think Liverpool are playing on the last day of the season. Is it Southampton? No, I can't remember actually.
I think it's Palace.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be following that. Be following the big one of Leicester, Tottenham as well as the main one of Chelsea as well. It's not an easy place to go, to Villa Park. I mean, I think their recent form isn't the best.
Is it the
No,
best? Yeah,
it's not. Is it?
They lost the last win was not this.
I think their last home win was at the beginning of April.
Yeah.
I think they've had quite a few sending offs recently, which is interesting. Yeah, they have nothing to play for. If they win, they'll still be 11th. If they lose, they'll still be 11th. But you never know. I mean, we've seen crazy results in the past against teams with nothing to play for. Yes, last season against Wolves, we managed to do the job. But before then, it was a stale draw against Leicester. And before then, we lost 3-0 to Newcastle. So it's going to be fun. But yeah I don't think Villa's...
And apparently Grealish will be back for that game as well. So yeah, of course, it's just our luck.
I think there was a just off topic a bit, but I think there was a tweet today. Someone said, or it was a reliable source, which said Aguero and I think one more player, two main Man City players were reportedly injured and will miss the next Man City. And then someone quote tweeted that, and they're like, "I'm 100% sure they'll be somehow ready for Chelsea." It's fun.
Well, there's a week and a bit, I guess, for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just our luck. Even if the player is taken off the pitch straight into an ambulance, he will somehow make it ready for Chelsea. So it's just our luck.
Yeah. Before we end, I think did you guys see the Tuchel post-match interview? It's pretty good. He calls out the VAR decisions from the past 3 games, and it's quality. It's love.
Yeah.
It's things they love to see.
Honestly,
I think I mentioned the comment.
I'll go as far as to say I see a lot of when he does his press conferences. I see a lot of Mourinho in him. He's very much. He's like, I'm not scared of the press. I'm not gonna. I mean, he's not arrogant. That's the best part. Mourinho had a sense of arrogantness in him, which I mean, you could say was kind of acceptable at the fact that he's won it all and seen it all.
I think Mourinho tiptoed along the lines of confidence and arrogance. He was always tiptoeing. Was always here and here and here. I think he was arrogant all the time, but he was confident in his abilities.
I think one moment I remember for Tuchel was after Arsenal when the reporter asked, what do you think? Do you think something went wrong today, or was just generally? And he goes, yeah, I know what was wrong. I saw it in the training ground. And then the reporter asks, what was it? And he goes, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. And I thought that was a good one. And I thought, okay, maybe less the reply. Lost that one. And I was like, okay, I'm still waiting for that. So it was this, and then the following 3 matches from now on.
I'm going to watch it after this because I usually watch it before we record, but today, for some reason, I chose not to because I wanted to get ready for this. I usually watch it before we record, but I'll go and watch it after this because it seems like it was a good one.
I think that's all for the podcast tonight. Anything you guys want to add on? Any last words?
Rudiger also did a post-match thing where he said, unfortunately, some people of their team don't know how to celebrate, and we had to punish them for this. Don't disrespect the club history. This is a bit bigger than you.
Exactly.
I just hope we don't get too overconfident. I just hope that we don't.
I think they could already say they did.
Yeah, I think
they did, and they lost. So hopefully we
well.
don't do the same thing. I think I even tweeted something controversial.
I hated the whole way Tielemans approached the game. Like he approached the game like with a smug attitude. Like he felt like he was better than everybody sort of. Because when he was taking the free kick in the corners and stuff like that, you could see how he was just his mannerisms and the way he was standing over the ball and chewing the gum that he had in his mouth. It was so annoying anytime I see his face on the screen.
How to rattle Amart's chew gum on I now know what to do.
I was just going to say, I feel like Leicester, everyone likes Leicester, but after the last 2 games, I'm like thinking they're not what they seem to be. They're a little dirty, and they just have this like weird aura about them. Like, oh, we won a trophy. Like, all right, that's your first FA Cup in I don't know however long you've been around.
137 years.
Don't disrespect them. They beat us, and that's fine. But be a little bit humble and celebrate in the right way. So,
the guys were definitely fired up for this one, I think, and especially this season, the defeat to them earlier in this year kind of not caused, but led to Lampard sacking, and then to have to lose to them as well in the cup final, of course. Yeah, I think it was pretty sure that the guys were going to be really fired up for it, and it showed. Rudiger was really on one. I don't think a sane Rudiger tries to do roulettes in the 60th minute of the game, but that's what we love to see, I think. And I think there's the stat of what he, like, with and without Rudiger, in terms of games won and goals conceded, and it's like night and day, I think, almost. It's a similar number of games played this season. I think it's 17 with, 19 without, and we've lost once with Rudiger in the team.
I was going to add
that's a good stat.
Yeah. I was going to...
Yeah, so this one's for you, Rudiger. This one, really.
Yes. I was going to add another fun comment before the end of the podcast, and I was just going to say, let's just all forget about everything we've talked about, and let's just blame it on the kits. Let's just say the old kit is perfect. Stick with it, Chelsea, please.
Yeah.
Cal, if we can,
please don't wear it,
and please, share it on everyone's social media. Let's get together. Let's count the same way we campaigned against the Super League. Let's all get together, campaign, protest. We don't want the new shirt. The scariest thing is if Chelsea release their away kit before Aston Villa, and then we wear it for the Aston Villa because we're the away team in the Champions League final. So I think UEFA is going to force us to wear the away kit. So it's either going to be the one that we've got right now, and honestly, I'd rather wear the Crystal Palace kit, the Crystal Palace one that we've got, the third kit. I'd rather wear that than some other kit and jinx ourselves. But yeah, sorry, Alex.
I mean, in the recent, I really don't see why we would, to be honest, because I don't think normally neither of the two teams. Sometimes I think in recent years, sometimes City and sometimes we have played in our away kits, but for the games this season and last season, it's always been both of our home kits. And
maybe because
I don't know if you sorry, yeah.
Maybe because it's blue.
I don't see why it would be different. I think we wear the
same home kits. I don't think we both wear the same home kits. I don't think so. I think one of us would
similar colors.
Have an away kit.
I mean, it really haven't played the league this year, so I don't know why.
If you notice, we really haven't played any teams which have had similar uniforms or kits as us. Man City.
Yeah, I remember it didn't happen in the league, and we didn't like it. I think we spoke about it here that it was a bit confusing when it happened in the league, but I don't think UEFA would probably allow it. I don't think so.
Since we're the away team, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the leaked Chelsea away kit for next year. The yellow. Yeah, the yellow one. It looks really clean, to me. It does,
Have you guys seen the tan one?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
That makes our kit look so good.
Yeah, I think it's based. So that kind of design was firstly featured in it was a green kit. I don't know if it was the Nigeria kit from last year or a couple of years ago. It wasn't the really famous one by. It's just this green kit that had loads of arrows on it and things. And it looks like Nike have just copied that pattern and put it on the Spurs home kit, and it also has blue on it, which is quite hilarious. But yeah,
what I find funny is when Chelsea release a kit like that, they go, "Oh, this is inspired by our win back in whatever year," and that's it. What are Tottenham going to do?
Yeah.
Like, this is inspired by our Champions League performance against Ajax in the semi-final of 2017.
In all fairness, we based our kit last year on a shoe in the 1960s. So they can do it. They can think of any story.
Our next year's kits are made out of plastic bottles. We're basically made out of Tottenham.
Yeah. That's why we don't want to see our kit ever again. I think I'd be tempted to buy one just to burn one, to be honest, because
burn it all to the ground.
Amart's in a revolutionary mood at the moment.
He's thinking about Tielemans chewing gum again.
Yeah.
I purchased a 2021 kit a few weeks back because I was like, you know what, we're in the Champions League final. If we win it, it's going to be a memorable kit. And I think Amart and I the first time we're wearing a 2021 kit is in the Champions League final, for good luck, hopefully. right, Amart? Or are we off that deal now? Okay, that's perfect.
He's shaking his head, Mohammed. He's checking out already.
He's shaking his head both ways. I don't know which one's which.
I'm doing this. If we win, we are all wearing it. If we win, we are all wearing it.
But
Perfect. I've
will
got
buy
everything
it.
ready.
If we win, if we win, I will buy it, the kit. But
okay.
But not before. No way. Because it'll be a waste of money and it'll be an awful time. So,
but then you get to burn it.
I'd rather burn the money that I spent to do that. That would be a better use of my time than burn that. Okay, right. Okay. Aside from burning money, Aston Villa, looking forward to it. But last day of the season always throws up interesting results. So that'll be fun.
Okay, I think that's all for the podcast tonight. Thank you, Rahul, for coming in. Apologies for all the inconvenience that has been caused by Zoom and and all the troubles we've given you tonight. Make sure to follow Rahul. I'll put all of his links in the description below and his podcast as well. If you want to give a shout out to that, Rahul, real quick.
Yeah, it's at the Premier Chels, and on Instagram it's at Premier Chels. And I want to thank you guys for having me on. It was great fun, and no worries on the Zoom issues. It's part of the 2021 era. But hopefully we'll be back soon, and maybe you guys can join us on the podcast one of the times before the end of the season, maybe after a Champions League win, and we can show Alex's new kit.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
I'll hold you to that. Yeah.
Okay. All of you guys listening, if you Alex, new tradition of the CFC Talk podcast, every time at the end of the episode we give them a keyword to put in the comments below to see if they've watched the full episode or not. So this time I'll let Rahul decide the keyword, and if you guys are still listening in, put it in the comments below and we'll know if you listen to the full podcast or not. So Rahul, it's your stage.
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure. Let's go with new kit.
New kit. Okay. New kit it is. Comment that below to kind of show us your support, and you can show us your support by subscribing to our channel, subscribe to the guests' channel, and their social media pages. Follow our social media pages as well as the website, which is recently been redesigned, and Taran should be releasing the newer designs by the 1st of June. So within the next 10 days, you'll see the new website. And we've got a bunch of writers who are doing a lot of stuff. So make sure to check that out as well. Hopefully win against Aston Villa, and we'll see you next time. That's it for us from us tonight. Thank you, guys.